This is the plaintiff, Bobby Medina. He says he's in the vinyl record business, and the defendant owes him a commission for a deal he put together with him to sell his entire record store collection. That's right, the defendant's trying to renege on their deal. He's a shady guy. That's why he's here suing him for the $2,500 he says he's owed. This is the defendant, Ron Johnson. He says he's been in the record business for 50 years, and the plaintiff has a reputation in the industry of being a little off. He referred a guy to him from Germany on a sale. The plaintiff allowed him to take more than he agreed to sell, and he simply doesn't owe him a penny because now he's out about $50,000. He's accused of going round and round.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that the defendant owes him commissions for a record sale. The guy isn't paying, so he's suing. But the defendant says the plaintiff has a reputation of being a little off, and he didn't earn his commission, so he's not paying anything. It's the case of who's needling who.
All right, Mr. Medina, you're suing Mr. Johnston for $2,500 representing a commission that, according to you, he agreed to pay and won't. Tell me what happened.
Okay, what happened is I know Ron Johnson through his partner, Jeff, and I've been doing business with them for several years. They've been purchasing records off of me.
Vinyl records.
Vinyl records, yes. We were going along good until maybe 8 months before Jeff died.
All right, so Mr. Medina, let's get to the facts of this case. Tell me about this case.
Okay, the gentleman, Thomas, came out from Germany. He buys big collections and everything from various people. I put Ron Johnson with Thomas from Germany.
Yeah, but back it up. How did you get involved, and how were you? Who agreed to pay you, and how much did they agree to pay you? Tell me everything.
Okay, what happened was the original agreement between Thomas, the man from Germany, and Ron was at 10% each.
Is that in writing anywhere?
No, that was all verbal.
Okay, go on.
After, like I say, I was out of town visiting my mom in Tampa. They decided that they came to a conclusion that I was making too much money off of the deal.
Who's
and
they?
They wanted,
Who's they?
Thomas and Ron.
Okay.
Ron called me up and started screaming and hollering. Anyway, we renegotiated a deal for 5% each.
Okay, and all this is before the transfer of the records take place, right?
Correct.
Plaintiff says the defendant is a shady businessman who's trying to steal his vintage record collection without paying their agreed price. He wants his money back. But the defendant says a deal is a deal. He paid the guy and owes him nothing but a curt goodbye. Let's listen.
In order for you to earn your 5%, 5% from each, what do you have to do?
I have to put both of them together so that they agree on a price.
That's it?
That's it.
Were you supposed to oversee the transfer itself?
No, Thomas was supposed to handle the transfer, the packing of the records. He was supposed to handle all of that.
And what was Ron supposed to do?
Sell him the records.
Okay, so it's Ron and Thomas who have to be in the same location, transferring the records and overseeing that. You have nothing to do with that, according to you.
Correct. Well,
okay. So what happens? Does Thomas pay you your 5%?
Yes, he did.
And then Ron didn't, right?
Ron claimed that he never got paid from Thomas.
At all? That he never got paid at all? Why would he release the records if he never got paid?
He released the records, and that was between them two. And all I know is when the deal went through, and Thomas called me, said the deal went through, he gave him $50,000 through PayPal. And Ron said he hadn't received the money yet. I said, well, when am I going to get my end? He said, as soon as I get my end. Meanwhile, Thomas paid me. I have documents showing where he paid me. Matter of fact, he overpaid Ron $20,500.
How did he overpay him
And
$20,500?
there was a glitch in the PayPal. I don't know
There's
too
no
much
glitch in
about that.
PayPal. That's somebody inputting the. So what happened? He paid him $70,000 instead of $50,000. You mean?
Correct.
Okay, that's just negligence on the person typing. But anyway, go ahead. And what happened? Did Thomas ever get that extra 20 grand back?
Yes.
Okay, so what does Ron tell you before you end up deciding I'm going to have to sue him? What does he tell you is the reason why he won't pay you the commission?
He claims that there was nothing in writing and that he didn't have to pay me anything. First, he said he was going to pay me $500 a month. I waited approximately 3 months, and he never paid me. I called him and just ignored me.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, what's going on?
Well, part of what Bob says is correct, and part of it is lies.
Why won't you pay him his $2,500? Did you agree to pay him a $2,500 commission?
Yes, I did.
And you won't pay him why?
On receipt of my money.
So why won't you pay him?
Because originally the 20,000 was a glitch or a mispayment, so that got returned to him, to Thomas and Matthias, and they paid me. They were like $3,400 shy on the 50,000. So I said, well, I hadn't got my money yet for that, so I'm not paying until I get my money. And then when the count comes about what they took, they paid for approximately 400 boxes. They took away 860 boxes.
How does someone take double the inventory from you without you noticing?
Well, they got them on a pallet and they loaded them on a truck.
If that's true, how did
sorry,
you not
pardon?
see that and stop them?
I didn't.
Okay, well, that's on you. That's not on Bobby Medina, is it?
Well, I figured that he took the people that took advantage of me and didn't pay for everything.
All he has to do is put you guys together, and he's supposed to get a commission. And instead of paying him his commission, you're mad at the people you were doing business with because, according to you, they took too many boxes. When they paid you through PayPal, did you get a $70,000 payment?
Yes, and I returned the 20.
Why won't you pay Mr. Medina? You're telling me reasons why you're mad at the German. Why won't you pay Mr. Medina?
Because he's part of the German.
What do you mean?
Well, he's part of that. He's the one that sent them over.
So you're the one who accepted the deal and negotiated with them. You're a part of it, too.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The question, is the defendant trying to weasel out of paying the plaintiff $5 grand, or is it the other way around? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
How much did you get paid for this, 50 grand?
Yes.
And how much have you paid in commission that you already admitted you promised to pay?
Nothing.
Ah, how's that fair?
Well, I don't think it was fair that he sent the people over that.
Why don't you sue the people? If you think the people did something wrong, why did you return the 20 grand? That's one. And two, if you are angry at the people, sue the people. You don't sue the broker whose job ends with connecting you. Verdict for the plaintiff, $2,500.
So that was pretty simple for the judge. Mr. Johnson, you heard the judge. You got to pay that $2,500 to Mr. Medina. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking that I lost half of my store. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but that's not Mr. Medina's fault, is it? That has nothing to do with him.
Well, he sent the people that took advantage of me. So I don't know whether he's in with them or not. I have no way of knowing that.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry for you, but you finally got to pay him the $2,500. Mr. Medina, you filed the lawsuit. You've prevailed. What are you thinking right now?
I did what I was supposed to do. He did not do what he was supposed to do, and that's why I took him to court. And I believe that I was always in the right and he was in the wrong.
Let me ask you a question. We didn't hear anything about what these records are. I mean, vinyl has become very popular again. You know, it certainly has had a rebirth. What kind of records are we talking about?
We're talking about rock music, R&B music, jazz music, you know, your Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, Marvin Gaye, Stan Getz, I mean, various artists.
But this goes back. These go back for a long time. These could have been recorded back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
most of that stuff is all coming back. The people my age looking to reunite with their youth, and I guess they're looking to buy vinyl again.
Well, I think you're right. So good for you. It's good to know that that music is coming back big time. Thank you very much, and good luck. Harvey?
You know, there are always these disputes over commissions. Sometimes it's a commission that you pay a broker to find you an apartment or a house. In this case, it's a record buyer. The reality is, if you are the person who is earning the commission and you find a buyer for that person, and it's a qualified buyer, and the deal goes through, then you're entitled to that commission. It may be that the other party is dissatisfied because something went wrong, too many records were taken, or whatever. But the bottom line is, if you brought a proper buyer, you're entitled to that commission.
I did some landscaping work for a neighbor, and he agreed to pay me $1,000. When I tried to collect, he said he lost his job and can't pay. A few days later, he offered me $500 to settle the matter. Can I use his offer to settle against him if I take him to court?
Technically, no, because you're not supposed to be able to use offers of settlement against someone.
Right.
Because we want to encourage people to settle cases and not
Otherwise,
go to
nobody
court.
ever would.
Right, because they don't want to. So since we want to encourage it, we kind of exempt that from the evidence.
Right.
That way, people can feel free to make business decisions to settle something without fear that it's going to be thrown against them. So the answer is no in most every jurisdiction.
Right. Now, it's kind of cold comfort for the other party that rule exists if you're in a bench trial with a judge in small claims and they just blurt it out.
The thing is, they blurt it out all the time. That's why you hear that all the time on the People's Court, because someone spits it out. It's already out, and you know, and so
as a judge, you're supposed to try to unring that bell.
But I don't really feel like it rang a bell, because I do believe that people try to settle things just to save the time and trouble and embarrassment of court.
That's true. And an offer to settle doesn't mean it's a legitimate debt.
No.
Because it may cost you a king's ransom to defend the case.
It instead of just, you don't have the time. So
I'm just gonna, what's it gonna take to make this go away?
I don't think judges look at that and hold it against the person who, because it doesn't make sense to do that. We know enough about litigation where we know that that wouldn't make sense.
Absolutely.